stand in front of the band with all those cards in your hand. I see you play imaginary guitars. You people shaking your hats right till the end of the set. You really tell me on wherever we are. Can't live without you.
Rudolf Schenker formed the band Scorpions in 1965 in Germany as a Merseybeat band. By 1972, they were doing psychedelic rock. Their first album was produced by a guy called Connie Plank, who was quite significant in the krautrock movement. Rudolf's younger brother, Michael Schenker, joined in about 1970, and another vocalist joined. Michael Schenker eventually became the lead guitarist of UFO, who were probably more successful than Scorpions in the long run. In 1974, they broke up when Michael left. A guy called Uli Roth was offered the job of lead guitarist, but he wanted to stay with his band called Dawn Road. So Rudolf joined Dawn Road, and then the other members of Dawn Road persuaded Rudolf to invite Klaus Meine, who was the vocalist from Scorpions, to join Dawn Road. By now, Dawn Road had two people who had been in Scorpions and several other people, but because Scorpions had died the death, they changed their name to Scorpions, and they became the new Scorpions. They then went kind of heavy metal hard rock. They got really famous. They sold lots of records. Towards the end of the 80s, they played in Russia. In 1990, they had a hit with a song called Wind of Change that is perpetually on the radio still, on the rock stations. They went a bit softer for a while. They went backwards and forwards with style quite a bit, and they're still going. And they still contain Rudolf and Klaus, and they've had 19 studio albums so far. Hi, my name's Dan. If you know this album and you have something to say about it, or you've just heard it for the first time and you've got a reaction, please hit me up in the comments down below. I'd love to know what you think of it. That red button there in the middle somewhere, that's got the word subscribe on it. If you click on that and then click on the bell next to it, that side, and then click on all, you will get a notification every time I publish one of these emails, one of these reviews. And I hope there's going to be a lot of them, because I'm following through this list, which is following the 3,000 best albums of all time. Come and join me. Subscribe. It's going to be fun. Okay. So on to this album. This was Scorpions' 8th album. The lineup for this album is considered to be their classic lineup. I'm not going to list all the names. Stylistically, I would describe this as being somewhere in the rock to the metal kind of boundary for a kind of pre-1990 definition of metal. Because when 1990 came along in the 1990s, metal changed beyond all recognition to become the behemoth that it is today. So it's got a lot of the songs are driving, guitar-driven stuff. There's some chuggy rhythms in there. There's some kind of wailing guitar solos. For comparisons, I would say some of it sounds a bit like Status Quo. Not a lot of it. Some of it sounds more like Kiss, if you're aware of them. Very kind of American idea of hard rock. Some of it sounds a bit like AC/DC, which is more of an Australian take on it. And some of it is verging into the Iron Maiden kind of area of the more metal kind of stuff. In the middle, there's an obligatory ballad, which has got acoustic guitar in it. It's called You Give Me All I Need. But most of the rest of them, the songs are this kind of driving rock, I would say. Later also we've got China White, which is a slower and more ponderous, and I think of it as more metal. It kind of reminds me of Black Sabbath in some ways. And then the last track is another ballad, which is called When the Smoke Is Going Down. And in this song, you can hear the seeds of the sound that they used for Wind of Change, which is their big hit, which came a few years after this. So they've got two ballads, one slow heavy song and lots of kind of fast, heavy songs going in there. The vocals are kind of high and wailing. It's a classic rock sound. You would definitely hear it and say this is a rock voice. I think if his voice was more distinctive, then they might have had more success, because I think it feels like quite a generic rock voice. Apart from when you get to the last song, the ballad, you can hear the wind of change thing, and I think that when he does the slightly softer rock, actually his voice comes more into its own. So overall, anyway, I thought it was decent. I didn't think it was outstanding. I quite liked it, and that's it from me for now.